Good afternoon, well, this is Ivan Amara. Hope you guys enjoy my show. I made early this morning. It's 4 o'clock. Hope you guys enjoy my show I made early this morning. I just took a shower. Yeah. Yeah, Ivan, I read about your book, man. Your book looks sick. I know. I wrote a masterpiece. I'm going to take a picture of this, guys. I took a Chromecast picture to show you my idea for Cyrus, for my Xanus movie. Yeah. So I hope you guys enjoyed my show I made early this morning. I talked about Sky Source. No, I talked about my book Xanus, and I showed you guys snippets of my book. Yeah, man, your book looks sick. I know. When I told you I wrote a masterpiece, I wasn't joking around. I wrote a fucking masterpiece. When I told you guys I was an amazing storyteller, you guys are like, well, yeah, Ivan, you're an amazing storyteller. Yes, I'm an amazing storyteller. I'm an amazing storyteller. I wrote a masterpiece, yeah. I wrote a masterpiece. I feel a bit more refreshed. I took a shower, listened to some music, but yeah. Now after I close the video, I'm going to go to the store, get my... I have to get the $60 to for the insurance. I'm probably gonna get some pizza for myself. Starting in May, I'm gonna start going on the treadmill and lose this weight and get my first girlfriend, obviously. Yeah. Yeah. Some Sarah? Yeah. Yeah, Zane's will be a masterpiece, guys. You know, I've not seen you in volume 2. One Tactius talks to Cassius. He's like can't sleep, and then Tactius says, "Yeah, the wolves are coming." Yeah, he has a feeling in his he has a big gut feeling that the wolves are coming, and that leads to the Exodus of Cyrus. I almost full story. That's like in the match that I wrote. Yeah, Ivan, everything that you read so far is interesting. Yeah, Ivan, you are a gifted storyteller. Yes, I am. When I told you I'm a gifted storyteller, I wasn't playing around. I'm an amazing storyteller. I wrote a masterpiece. There's a reason why the Gates want to control your brand, Ivan. Because they know you run a masterpiece. They know your book will be more popular than Harry Potter. The world's gonna love your book. Yeah. Once the world reads Ivan's book, they're gonna love his book, and it's gonna be more popular than Harry Potter. And Ivan's gonna make his billions off. I don't know, it's $15 billion off the book. With that money, he can start Skyward Entertainment and make his own movie, sell his own merch in his game. And I signed that mega deal with Amazon with VJ. Yeah. That's why the Gates won't get your brand. They know you wrote a masterpiece. Ivan, show us more. I'm not going to show you more, man. I don't want to spoil a story for you, Sarah. Yeah. Yeah. That's why the Gates want to control your brand, Ivan. Because they know you wrote a masterpiece. They know you wrote a masterpiece. And all the book nerds around the world and all you world, right, when you read my book, Holy shit, Ivan! You are a gifted storyteller. Like you sound like an amazing storyteller. Yes. When I told you I was an amazing storyteller, I wasn't joking. I'm actually an amazing storyteller. I'm a gifted storyteller. Yeah. God gave me each of the gifts. The gifts, man. The gifts, yeah. God gave me each of the gifts. Yeah, man. That's why I'm able to write amazing book. I showed you guys my They're Unique, but I also wrote They're Unique. I mean, that sounds interesting, yeah. That's why I wrote down for They're Unique. And I showed you guys snippets of my book. Holy shit, your book sounds interesting. Yes. It's a masterpiece. Yeah, Ivan, like your characters up on the page, like the character of Lithia when she's like, tell me, you know what I'm saying? And Eli, he's like, that man. Talking about Takis, obviously. And she's like, what if Taki speaks the truth? What of it? You mean that man? You know, yeah, you're very good at making your characters jump on the page. Yes, my characters jump on the page with my book. And my story is so entertaining. It's so interesting that when you read my book, you're going to be hooked, man. Holy shit, I even wrote a masterpiece. Yeah, I wrote a masterpiece, man. You know, I think you are good, man. There's something about your writing that's very unique. It stands out from all these other books that I read. Yeah, these other books have better choices of words, amazing, beautiful written literature and speech, but it's a bit boring. Whereas your book stands out. It's interesting. The characters are on the page. Like, I'm fucking hooked reading it. Yeah. I wrote a masterpiece. I can show you one more. I can show you the scene when Acetonius and Cassius get captured. I'm not going to show any of you guys anymore because I won't spoil the story for you. When Eretad's looking for Taki, I can show you that snippet there, and I'm going to stop there. I don't want to spoil the story for you. But this is why my book is a masterpiece. He's like, hello, humans. I'll show you that scene. Or you want me to show you the scene when Tacitus meets Lithia? I can show you that. No, I don't want to show you that, but I'll show you the scene when Tacitonius and Tacitus get captured. And Eretad's talking to them. Why isn't it showing up? It's not showing up. It's not showing up. I'll just say... Oh, I know why it's not working. Why isn't it showing up? I'll show you guys this scene here, and after that, I'm not going to show you guys anymore because I don't want to spoil the story. I already showed you guys a little snippet of my book. I don't want to spoil the story for you. So I'm sorry. You guys will find when you read the book. Obviously. Yeah, I'll just say captured. Okay. Okay, I'll show you the scene when Tacitonius and Cassius get captured, and after that, I'll show you the scene when Eretat interrogates them for like a good, maybe like a little bit of that, and after that, I'm not going to show you anymore. This is the scene when they get captured. Yeah, I'll show you this scene here. Pause and read it, guys. This is when Fool captures Cassius and Tacitonius, and I'll have you read this here. You can pause and read that, guys. That's all I'm going to show you for the capture chapter in line 2. This is after they fight the wolves and Tacitonius and Cassius get captured. That's a scene there. You can pause and read it. And I'll show you the Eretat scene when he talks to them. And after that, I'm not going to show you anymore. I don't want to spoil the story for you guys. There it is. Found it. Okay. I'll show you this here. Read that. That's when they get captured. And Eretat's talking to Cassius and Tacitonius. And I'll show you this scene here, and that's it. I'll show you this scene here. You can read that. That's when Eretat's talking to Cassius and Tacitonius, and they talk back to him. That's all I'm going to show you guys. I won't spoil the story. That sounds sick. I know. It's a sick story. Every time you show us stuff, we're hooked when we read it. Yes, man. My book, every chapter in my book it's entertaining, and you're just hooked reading it, man. I wrote a masterpiece, man. That's why it's better than J.R.R. Tolkien's Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones, and what? And Wolf Time, Wave Kings. It's better than all his books, man. I wrote a masterpiece. That's why the Gateswalkers are my brand. They read a bit of my book. Yeah, I wrote a masterpiece. Yes, I wrote a fucking masterpiece. I wrote an amazing story. Yeah, man, I wrote a masterpiece. Ivan, I see your point, man. You are a fucking gift. You are a fucking gifted story. Holy shit, man. All the stuff you show so far, we're impressed, man. Like, we're hooked. Yes, Xanus is a literary masterpiece. Every chapter you read, you're just hooked. You're hooked. You turn the page. It's interesting. Some of it is obviously not as interesting, but you keep reading, and you're just hooked. Obviously. I'll show you one more scene, and that's it. The scene with when Cassius and Tacitonius are looking for Takis in Volume 1. And I won't show you guys anymore. I don't want to spoil the story for you. That's all I'm going to show you guys. I'm not going to show you anymore. I don't want to spoil the story for you. You guys will find out when you read my book. I wrote a masterpiece, man. Your book is sick. It's better than Lord of the Rings. Yeah, it's better than Lord of the Rings. Sarah? Okay. So I'll show you this scene. I'll show you this scene here. This is when the Cassius, Tacitonius, and Tacius. Cassius, Tacitonius are looking for Tacius outside the wall, and they arrive in the south, obviously. They're in the Blood Valley. They're not in the south yet. Yeah. Read this here. pause and read that, guys. That's another section of my book. Pause and read it. And then I'll show you the scene when he talks to the Southerns. Here. You can read that. And I'll show you this scene here. Show you this scene here, and that's it. I'm not going to show you anymore. This is right before they get captured in Volume 2, right? Pretty much, right? This is the end of Volume 1, pretty much. Towards the end of Volume 1. You can read that, guys. And that's all I'm going to show you. I'm not going to show you anymore. I don't want to spoil the story for you. And guys, I'm not showing anymore. This is the last snippet I'm going to give you of my book. And you guys are like, holy shit, Ivan. Like, your book sounds interesting and sick. Yes, man. My book is a page turner. Every time you read it, you're hooked. You're entertained. From the start of the prologue all the way to Volume 1. I told you, my book is so good that you can binge like Volume 1 in one day. You binge like the 100 pages, 200 pages, whatever it is. You binge all of Volume 1 in one day because it's so interesting. You're hooked. You're constantly turning the page. You know what I'm saying? And all those like book nerds. All those book nerds that love Lord of the Rings, like, holy shit, man. Even though I love J.R.R. Tolkien and he has better world and everything, Ivan's book is better, man. I'm way more hooked and enjoying his book more than Lord of the Rings. Yeah, my book is a masterpiece. You know what I'm saying? You keep reading and you're hooked and you're entertained. It's a sick story. I was going to show you the listening scene, but I don't want to show you that. I don't want to spoil it for you. I showed you the clip when Aratat's talking to Takis and them when they get captured. I'm not going to show you anymore. I don't want to spoil the story for you. That's the scene before they get thrown in the pit. I don't want to spoil the story for you, so I'm saying, look at a sick book, man, I wrote, man. Yeah, masterpiece. I wrote a masterpiece. That's why the Gates won't enjoy my brand. They won't enjoy your brand, Ivan. They know how good your book is. I wrote a masterpiece. Now, I'm not going to give you control over my fucking masterpiece, man. I pour my blood, sweat, into this, man. When you locked all doors with me, you're not touching a dime about my book, man. That money's for me and VJ, zero. That money's for me and VJ, it's not for you. You're just a greedy pig, man. You're a greedy psychopath. Yeah, man, the money's for me and VJ, it's not for you. You're just a greedy pig. So I'm sorry? You're a greedy animal, yeah. You're a greedy pig, man. Greedy psychopath. Yeah. And now you guys understand why, if when I adapt this to the screen, you're looking at to another movie, you're looking at a masterpiece, man. The best movie just ever made, man. Amazing story. So I showed you the scene with Tactius and Cassius. This is the end of Volume 2. Cassius can't sleep because he thinks, this is after he gets captured. He can't sleep because he thinks the wolves are coming to mark Sapphius, at least the Exodus. I showed you the scene when before Tactius gets thrown in the dungeon in the beginning of midway of Volume 2. The scene with Lithia and her father Eli. Obviously, I showed you that scene. The Bell Law, right? I don't call it the bell in the book, but you have something called the Bell Law. Whenever there's a bell that sounds in Sapphius, that means a thief, imposter, or something like that is thrown in a dungeon. That's Eli's a powerful. He's the most powerful man in the South. He's the leader of Sapphius, obviously. And I showed you the scene when Aratat captures, when Faful and his wolves capture Cassius and Asatonis, and they're in Barak, and Aratat is talking to them from his throne. He's like, you are in my domain, you are in my territory. Yeah, look at a sick story. I'm not going to show anymore. I don't spoil the story for you. I showed you the scene in Volume 1 when Cassius, Asatonis, and their 15 men, they're in the Blood Valley, and they see two Southerns, three Southerns, Cleo, Sebastian, and Francis. They escaped the landmarkings of Cyrus. obviously, and he talks to them what happened. Have you seen the prince? And I'm saying, you guys get the picture of the story? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Yeah, the Northerns don't really have respect for themselves. No, they don't. Remember how you read in that passage, "Oh, men from the southern lands are arrogant, the Northerns." And then Cassius is like, yeah, if you come to the north, you will not be welcome. Tell them Cassius sent you. Because the Northerns don't like the Southerns. You'll see what I mean? You get more of that in the story when you read it. I don't want to spoil the story for you. That's why looking at a master that I wrote. Yeah, Ivan, your book looks sick, man. It sounds interesting. Yes, I know. I wrote a masterpiece. Well, I'm not going to show you guys anymore. I don't want to spoil the story for you. You'll find out what I mean when you read the rest of my book. I show you guys, I don't know, a sneak peek of my book. And that's all I'm going to show you. All I'm going to say is that I wrote a masterpiece. An amazing story, because I'm gifted. I wrote an amazing book. Yeah, if your writing's amazing, man, like, you keep me hooked when I read it, yes. Yeah, all these other authors, when they write books, yeah, they have beautiful word choice and everything, but their story is a bit boring in some sections. Whereas Ivan, your story is entertaining. The characters jump on a page. They feel so real and it's interesting. Yes, my book is number one. My book's number one, yeah, man. My book is number one. I guarantee even Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings is like, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Lord of the Rings. I guarantee you, Lord of the Rings is like, yeah, I read some of your book, man. Yeah, your book looks interesting, man. It looks more interesting than Lord of the Rings. Yeah, it's a better book than Lord of the Rings, man. Well, I told you guys my book is better than Lord of the Rings. I wasn't playing around. My book is better than Lord of the Rings. Jared Torres Lord of the Rings, man. It's more interesting. Yeah, I told you guys many times, yeah, I read Lord of the Rings, beautiful literature and everything. Some sections you're hooked, some sections you're a bit bored. Whereas my book, you're not bored. Like, when you read it, it's very fresh, and you're very hooked when you read it. And it's a sick book. Yeah, when you read it, man. It's a masterpiece. Yeah, man. I'm not showing you guys anymore. I haven't shown the feces scene. No, if I show you the feces scene, I'm going to spoil a story for you. Because the feces scene is a huge, big plot twist in the story. I'm not going to show you that. You guys will find out what I mean when you read the book. It is in the biggest plot twist in novel history. No, it's a huge twist. Where Takis finds out his destiny. And I don't want to spoil a story for you. You'll see what I mean when you read the book. That's why I wrote a masterpiece. But some sections of my book are a little raw. You catch some sections of my book, the dialogue flows pretty well, but some of it's a bit raw. But most of it is top notch. When you read it, it flows very well. You're hooked, and like, holy shit, man, this is a masterpiece, man. Yeah, it's a masterpiece. My book is a masterpiece. Now, you're even VJ, sweetie, when you read, holy shit, Ivan. Like, your Xanus book looks interesting. Yeah, it looks like an amazing story. Yeah, it is. That's why VJ, I can't wait to Olivia, Ivan. I know. You can picture VJ in that scene when she talks to Eli in the movie. Yeah. That man. Yeah, that's beautiful the way you said it. Like, I was like, Eli is like, that man. Yeah. Talking about Tactius. He doesn't like Tactius. Yeah. Yeah. Ivan says he claims his name is Colonius, but he claims to be the Prince of Xanus. Yes. Ivan, why does he say that? Well, I won't spoil a story for you. You'll see what I mean when you read the book. I'm not going to tell you what happened. But you guys read the beginning of Volume 2, when that ties into the story. When Eli tells Tactius, he's like, we can't trust anyone. He told Tactius that. He says, your name Tactius cannot be used here, and your sword hide it. They can't know you're the Prince of Xanus. So that ties into the story. Yeah, it makes sense. And later on in Volume 2, in the next chapter, in the later chapters, 2 chapters later, now Tactius is thrown in a dungeon. Why he's thrown in a dungeon, I won't spoil a story for you. You'll find out when you read the book. I won't spoil a story. I'm just looking at masters that I wrote. It's an amazing book, man. I guarantee you, Peter Jackson, you read it. Holy shit, Ivan, your book looks interesting. You know, I said, this is Jared Torres Lord of the Rings. I know, Peter, it's Jared Torres Lord of the Rings. It's a masterpiece, Peter. Yeah, it's a masterpiece. It's a masterpiece. That's why the gates won't control your battle, Ivan. They know how good your book is, man. And they're envious. They don't want you and your beautiful wife VJ to be king and queen. They're envious people, obviously. They don't want me and VJ being together. They're crazy fucking people. Yeah. That's why VJ cries you, Ivan, because she knows the situation's hopeless. You know, even though Ivan has the keys and everything, and he wrote his amazing masterpiece, yeah, he has to pay off his $1,300 for his tax. The gates, they sabotage his tax. He has to pay that off, and he has to save another like $2,000 to get his book proofread. But something tells me more bullshit's gonna happen once Ivan gets his book proofread. Yes, man. Ivan, prepare for the bullshit, man. More bullshit's gonna happen because the families are reprobate people. They're so desperate that they're willing to do anything to prevent me from being king. I told you when I finished my book, I made that announcement back in 2020, 5 years ago, and I started writing Young Tackiest. I got threatened with a court order. The guy came in my room and said, Ivan, like, you have to go to court. I'm like, for what? What did I do? You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you have to go to court. I'm like, nah, man, I'm not going to court. Okay, if you don't go to court, they're going to bring you in. And I ignored the guy. And then like a week later, literally a week and a half later, I remember I was sleeping. I took a shower. And I heard like someone knock on the door. Hello, this is the police. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, what the fuck, man? You know what I'm saying? This is the police, you know what I'm saying? And they fucking arrested me when I was like naked. They literally kicked the door open. I'm like, guys, I'm in the shower, man. You have some respect. And I had my towel on, and they were trying to touch me. My look, man, don't fucking touch me, man. You know what I'm saying? I went to the other room, and it's like, dress up. They're like yelling at me, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I told one of the police guards, I'm like, fuck you, man. I'll fucking punch you in the face, yeah. And they peppered me because they were pissing me off. They peppered me, and when they peppered me, that's when I complied. Like, get on the ground. I'm like, they arrested me, they handcuffed me, like, put on your clothes. And I put on my clothes and everything, you know what I'm saying? I remember I was crying so heavy tears I couldn't breathe. And I was in the hospital for 40 days. You guys remember that? Yeah. I was in the hospital for 40 days. And after I came back home, I worked at Young Tackiest, and the gatekeepers, they deleted my file, my file that I had. But because I saved it on my notebook, I had like majority of my books saved on the computer. I had to rewrite like all of volume 3 and a bit of volume 2. It took me like 4 or 5 months to do that, man. I was fucking stressed out. Because gatekeepers are crazy people. They don't want me being king. They're willing to do anything to prevent me being king. And once they leave my file, I never made that mistake again. I saved it on my Hotmail. That way they can't touch my file. And now I have my file saved on my Hotmail. I have it saved on my Hotmail. I also have it saved on my phone. Like I showed you guys. When I save it on my phone, it's also saved on my Hotmail. So the gates can't touch my file. Sarah? Yeah. I pour my blood, sweat, and tears, guys. I'm not gonna let you take control of my book, man. This money is for me and BJ. It's not for you. You're just a greedy pig, man. You're a greedy psychopath, yeah. You're not touching my money. Zero. The billions off the books for me and BJ. It's not for you. You're just a greedy pig. Yeah. You're just a greedy psychopath, yeah, man. You're a greedy pig. Yeah, Ivan, all the sections you show us of all your chapters, I was hooked, man. It's all interesting. Yes. I told you my book is a masterpiece and it's an interesting story. I wasn't playing around. It is the best fantasy literature ever written, man. It's the best fantasy novel ever written. It's a masterpiece, man. That's why when you pause and read it, you're like, holy shit. Ivan's a fucking gifted storyteller. Yeah, I know that. I guarantee you all the Xanus stars, the Hollywood Xanus stars, they write, holy shit, Ivan, your book looks sick. I can't wait to be part of that story. I know. It's a sick story. You have that scene when Aratat, they're in Barak and Aratat interrogates them. Yeah. He's looking for Tackiest. So honestly, I almost spoil a story for you. See when you read the book. Yeah. Hence why I want to co-write the script with Peter, because I know my story inside now. I wrote the masterpiece. I'm scared Peter Jackson might make drastic changes in my story. Might ruin my story. That's why, Peter, I don't want you making drastic changes and ruining my story, Peter. You have to listen to me. I'm the boss over you. What? I don't want you having the answers appear in physical form, Peter. you're gonna ruin my story. It's about Tactius and Eretat, not about the ancestors. Yeah, it's about Tactius. I don't want to spoil it, so you'll find what I mean when I say it's his story. I don't want to spoil it for you. It's his story. It's Eretat's story. It's about Eretat for Full and Tactius and Ephesus. It's not about the ancestors. And the ancestors can't appear in physical form. Yeah. Like, they can appear in, like, a physical body, but they're spiritual beings. Were they physical beings before they were? But I'm not going to spoil a story for you. You find out why I'm moving, but I won't spoil a story for you. But like, they can't appear. They can't appear in physical form. They're spiritual beings. So Peter has them appear in physical form. He's contradicting the plot of my story, and you now take away the spotlight from Tactius. It's no longer really his story. That's why I don't want you making that drive. Hey, that's what you're saying. You're smart. You know your shit. If you do that, you're going to ruin the story. Yes, Peter, you're going to ruin the story. I don't want you doing that for the movie, Peter, or Mel. I'm sorry. Mel Gibson, I'm sorry. You have to tell me that I know he knows, man. Yeah. Yeah, if there's something about your story, man, that's very unique. It stands out from all these other books I read. Like, when I read your book, the characters jump on a page, the warbling jumps on a page. Even though I don't dump you with, like, a bunch of information about lands, the warbling jumps out because you have the character's perspective of the lands. What the Northerners think about the Southerners, and makes your world building jump out because I'm a genius. I focus more on the character perspective, less on the info dumping, because I know if I info dump you, I can bore the reader. I don't want to bore the reader, hence why I spend time. I focus on. For me, it's all about characters and story, less on warbling. Warbling is important for my book too, but I spend less time dumping you with what the land looks like. I get right to the point with the characters, and I have them make the world building jump out through their perspective, what they see, how they act in the world, what they say about the world, how they respond to the characters about the world, and it makes the world building jump out. I'm a genius. Yeah, I mean, I read your book. Your worldbuilding is a bit vague. Yeah, it's vague, but when you read the dialogue, the worldbuilding jumps out because the characters' perspective make it jump out. Like the scene with Lithia and Eli, she's like, "That cannot be. Like, why would a Northern come here?" You know what I'm saying? Why would a Northern? Why would someone of royal such importance come here to the South? And it makes the warbling, it makes the warbling jump out. Yeah, it's vague, but the characters make the warbling jump out because I'm a genius. Yeah. My book is a masterpiece, man. It's the best fantasy novel I've written. Yeah, man. When I told you how all these famous authors will feel like shit when they write a book, they're gonna feel like shit. Because, yeah, Ivan's book was more entertaining than our fucking books. Like, yeah, we have beautiful. Some of our books, you're hooked, but like Ivan kept us way more hooked than the way we kept the readers hooked. Yeah, because I'm a creative genius. I wrote a masterpiece. God gave me each of the gifts, man. Yeah, Ivan, you got it. Yeah, I got it, man. I got the gift. I got the gift, man. Yeah, man. I have the gift from the heavens. So, Sarah. I have the gift from the heavens. I'm a creative genius. I'm a creative genius. Sarah? I'm a creative genius, man. I wrote a masterpiece. A masterpiece. Yeah, and I can't wait to read your book, but that sounds like a sick book, I know. It's so good. Yeah, I told you guys, every time I read my book, I'm hooked. Yeah, every time, sometimes I read my book, and I'm like, I can't believe I wrote this book, man. It's a fucking masterpiece, man. Like, every time I read every volume, I'm turning the page and I'm fucking hooked. This is fucking sick. Like, every page I read, it's sick, and I'm just like hooked. And I'm like turning the page, and before you know it, I read 10 pages. I didn't even know I read 10 pages. because I'm so engulfed and drawn to the story because I'm a genius. I know how to control your mind and keep you hooked. I'm a genius. Yeah, I'm a genius. Yeah. Please, your story looks interesting. I know, Peter, it's interesting. Mel Gibson, your story looks interesting. I know, Mel. It's interesting. Yeah, interesting story. Yeah. Is your book long, Ivan? Yeah, it's long. My book is a bit longer than Fellowship of the Ring. Fellowship of the Ring's a long book. My series is like, I don't know, maybe 80 pages longer than Fellowship of the Ring. My book. 80 pages long. My book will probably be a good 750 pages, maybe around there. So it's a long book, but it's not as long. Lord of the Rings is like 1,300 pages. My book is like 750 pages maybe. After it's added, 750 pages. Yeah. Samsara? I'm not going to show you guys any more of my book because I don't want to spoil the story for you, man. You'll find out when you read the book. Ivan, what's the worst chapter in your book? The prologue. The prologue, you guys read a bit of the prologue. The prologue is good too, but it's not as good as the other chapters, obviously. Young Cactus is pretty good. 22 Years Later is probably arguably the best chapter in Volume 1, or in Search for the Prince, or What Was Cyrus Is Cyrus No More, Chapter 3. But the chapter that you guys read, when Cassius and Tacitonius and his 50 men talked to the three Southerners, obviously, who escaped the landmarks of Osiris, that's what? The fourth chapter, I think? Yeah, the fourth, like, that's like the end of Volume 3. Volume 1, sorry. End of Volume 1. Obviously. Volume 1's very good too. It's entertaining, but it's a build-up. It's a build-up of the story. And in Volume 2 is when it really picks up because they meet. That's when Tachyus meet the Southerners. Like that scene you read in the beginning of Volume 2, that's when Tachyus, Papyri, and Sirius arrive to Saphius. And that's when they meet all the Southerners. That's when the story really picks up. But some people might like Volume 1 better because they love the whole thing about like the Northerners living behind the wall of Xanus. Some people might like Volume 2 better. But Volume 2 is better than Volume 1 in my opinion. The Lithia chapter is amazing. Arguably the best chapter of Volume 2. Or you can argue the Tachyus Colonius chapter is the best. The one that you guys read when Lithia was talking to her father, Eli, my last video. Or you can argue the Exodus of Saphius, the final chapter. The chapter I showed you towards the end of Volume 2 when Cassius can't sleep. And Tachyus meets him outside, and he tells Tachyus, yeah, I haven't exactly been honest with you, Tachyus. Like when me and Tachyus got captured, yeah, Eretal's not looking at you because Eretal only kept his life was looking for you, and he believes the wolves are coming to Saphius, and that leads to the Exodus of Saphius. That's why we're looking at the masters that I wrote. Something like Prince of Egypt, like Moses. Like yeah, sick story, yeah, amazing book, man. I wrote a masterpiece. Amen. That's why the gates won't control by it's a masterpiece. You know how good it is, man. It's a masterpiece. Yeah. You know, Ivan wrote the book, the amazing book. He owns the rights to it. He has the keys to the kingdom. That's the Blades Him and VJ. I don't want him being king. I don't want him and VJ being mother burners. I want him to be under us. We buy the rights off his book and we give him peanuts. Yeah, that's why they're going to threaten me to hopefully scare me into getting the bow to them. But even then, I'm like, no, I'm not bowing you, man. I'd rather break a woman than have you do my that, man. No fucking way. Don't hate Wilson, yeah. Don't hate Wilson, yeah. Yeah. Aaron TV is like, oh my god, Ivan, your book looks so interesting. I love the character of Lithia when she was talking to her father Eli. And I know, she's like, tell me, yeah, your characters jump on a page. Yes, my characters jump on a page. They feel real, man. They feel like real. It's like, I don't know. When you read my book, it's kind of like you're watching like a book movie. in a way, because the characters are so real. They jump out on the page, and it makes the world building stand out. And even though Ivan's world building is very vague, his world building still jumps out because the characters make it jump out through their perspective, like their actions, their speech, what they think, how they interact with the characters in that world. It makes it jump out. Yes, it makes my world jump out because I'm a genius. So I flipped it, right? Instead of having me dump you with information about the lands, I can bore the reader like Jared Tolkien does. Now, Jared Tolkien does a lot of info dumps, obviously. It's very, sometimes, like, even though it's very repetitive and it can get very boring, the way Jared Tolkien describes the world building is very beautiful. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. That's very, 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 very beautiful literature. Sometimes I read it, I'm like, yeah, even though it's a bit repetitive and boring, fuck, it's beautiful. It's beautiful writing. Yeah, it's beautiful, obviously. Very beautiful, obviously. But sometimes it can get very repetitive and boring. Hence why I see Lord of the Rings as a boring masterpiece. It's a masterpiece, but for me, it's a little bit dry and boring, man, when you read it, man. Yeah. So all you Lord of the Rings fans, obviously, who read Lord of the Rings, you read Lord of the Rings and you read my book, you see a difference, man. My book is fresh, the characters on a page is more interesting, it's more entertaining. Whereas Lord of the Rings, even though it's a masterpiece, it's a bit boring, man, in some sections. You have to force yourself to read some chapters because Jared Tolkien drags on with his info dumps, describing everything: the mountain, the trees, the grass, the sunset, the door, the horse, the sword, the armor, the weapons. It's crazy, man. Yeah, man. Some sound? Yeah. That's why the gates won't get really around. You know how good your book is, man. You wrote a masterpiece. Yeah, Ivan. All you guys are, yeah, Ivan, your book, it looks fucking interesting. I can't wait to read that. Yeah, it's a masterpiece. You read it, holy fucking shit, man. I even took me for a ride. Like, every volume was fucking interesting. I was hooked reading it. I was turning the page left and right. It was fucking amazing. Yeah, I have the gift, man. Why? God gave me the gift from the heavens. An amazing storyteller. Yeah, Ivan, you're like the greatest, like, novel storyteller ever, man. Like, there's something about your writing that's very unique. You keep us hooked. Yes, I'm a genius. Literally genius, man. God gave me a gift. God gave me just gifts. And that's why if I adapt that story, you're looking at the best movies ever made. Now you guys understand why it'll be the best movies ever made. Looking at a masterpiece. Yeah. Yeah, Ivan, your writing is very good too. Like, you have good choice of dialogue. Yeah, my dialogue is rich too. Yeah, Ivan, you're very good at having the characters speak like old English style speech. It sounds very polished and good. Yes, I'm very gifted, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, obviously. But some of my dialogue is a little raw. Obviously, when you read some section of my book, you see what I mean when you read it. But most of it is top notch. Obviously, because I don't have an editor. I did everything myself. Because even the best storytellers have to have editors fix up some of their dialogue and everything. I had no editor. I can't afford an editor. Yeah, and I don't want anyone touching my story. That's why I'm not gonna have a copy editor fix my story. My story doesn't need any fixing. My story is a masterpiece, but my proofreading I have to fix. My younger brother edited Volume 1 and Volume 2, but there's still some typos and everything. But a bit of Volume 3, so I have to have the proofreader edit Volume 3. But I also have to have the proofreader go over Volume 1 and Volume 2 for potential typos and everything. Because there might be a few typos there, obviously. But you're looking at a masterpiece that I wrote, man. Oh, what an amazing book. Yeah, man. I wrote a masterpiece, guys. Yeah. A masterpiece. I wrote a masterpiece. Yeah, Ivan, you're an amazing storyteller. Yes, I am. I'm gifted, man. I show you they're unique. Yo, Ivan, your very unique start of your story sounds very interesting. I was hooked reading that. So I'm gonna ask you guys all the stuff that I showed you guys. Were you guys impressed? Were you guys hooked? Yeah, Ivan, I was impressed. I was hooked, man. That was fucking amazing. Yes. When I told you I'm gonna gift the storyteller, I'm gonna gift the storyteller. I'm an amazing storyteller. I have the gift, man. I didn't know I had the gift until I started reading sections of my book. Yeah. I remember my first prologue that I wrote, it wasn't that good. I rewrote it in the hospital. The prologue that you guys saw in the snippet that I showed you a couple of days ago when I made my video, that's not the prologue I originally wrote. The prologue I originally wrote was me just telling the story. I decided to change it and show the story of Tacius' life when Tacius II is born, obviously. Yeah, Tacius walks up the walls, and then Queen Sarah is about to give birth and everything. And he looks obviously, and he sees a demonic face in the southern sky. This is like miles and miles away. You can barely see it. I know what's that demonic face. Well, you have something called the answers. I won't spoil a story for you. That's why I'm looking at Master of the Rope, man. Yeah. I wrote a masterpiece, guys. Yeah, I mean, I can't wait to read your book. I know I wrote a masterpiece. You wrote a masterpiece, man. You're fucking gifted. Yes, I'm a gifted storyteller. I'm a horrible writer. Like, I'm not getting you wrong, guys. I'm not that great of a writer. My writing is not that good, but I'm an amazing storyteller. I know how to tell a good story. Remember how I made the video with the difference between a great storyteller and a great writer? There are a lot of these English students who are amazing writers, much better writers than me. They get their 80s and their 90s in English and everything. Obviously, and yet, but they can't pen down an amazing story. Whereas I don't have the USB to download those big words for a book, but I have the gift, the picture brain to pen down an amazing story. I have all these pictures in my mind, and I pen out an amazing story. And so when Peter Jackson read a book, he's like, Ivan, man, like, how the heck did you write that story, man? That's a fucking masterpiece, man. I enjoy your book more than Jared told us Lord of the Rings, Ivan. Peter. No, Ivan, seriously, man, your story beats Lord of the Rings. Like, your plot is so deep that it blows your mind away. Like, it's so fucking deep, Ivan. When you once you read the whole book and you think of the whole story, it blows your mind away, Ivan. Yeah, Tacius is a cocky, confident prince. He becomes mature in Volume 3, his destiny. You have the ancestors, you have Eratet. Like, you're looking at a masterpiece, Ivan. This is Lord of the Rings. I know, he's Lord of the Rings. Goes in. Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah. Yeah, there's something unique about your fantasy story. Like, man, your story really jumps on the page. Yeah, it's a masterpiece, man. I wrote a masterpiece. Xanus is a book you can reread like 20, 30 times in your life. It's a book you can reread like 20, 30, 40, even 50 times in your life. Even if you read Xanus 20 times in your life, you wouldn't get tired of the book. The book is so entertaining, you can reread it over and over again. And I guarantee you, a lot of you guys, before the movie comes out, you're going to reread the book to build hype for the movie. Yeah, I'm going to reread the book to build hype for the Xanus movie coming out. I might do that. I'm like, VJ, I want to reread. VJ, yeah, I want to reread the book to build hype, and me and VJ reread the Xanus book before the movie comes out. When I start Scotch Entertainment, I make that movie for $2 million. Yeah. Yeah, look at an amazing movie, man. Yeah, man. You're looking at a masterpiece. Looking at a masterpiece. Yeah, man. So, you think you're the greatest storyteller in the world? I'm not going to say that. Like, you can argue Brandon Sanderson. Some people will think maybe Brandon Sanderson, George R. Martin, and J.R. Tolkien are better storytellers than me. I highly doubt it, because even though their books are masterpieces, their story is not as entertaining as mine. Like, they don't keep you hooked the way I do. That's why when I told you guys, when I read Lord of the Rings, I compare it to my book, I see a difference. Like, Lord of the Rings, it's a masterpiece, but like, it has beautiful written words and everything, but like, it's a bit boring in some senses when you read the story's not really pacing. That's why people have to cut all things in the movie. Whereas my story, I keep it pacing, constant pacing, and I end you off with every chapter with a cliffhanger and foreshadowing events to keep you to wonder what happens next. Samsara? Yeah. Because I'm a genius. I made that video in my old miscellaneous series when I talked about how to write a story. I talked about your foreshadowing and your climaxes for every chapter is very important if you want to keep the reader hooked, obviously. But I told you, if you don't have the gift, you're going to have a tough time penning down an amazing fantasy novel. Because fantasy is the hardest novel to write. It's very, very tough to pen down a fantasy novel. Because fantasy novel, you have to build your world. You have to create your world. You have to make your characters in that world feel real. You have to make the world feel real. It's tough. So if you don't have the creative gift, don't hate me, guys. I'm saying you're going to have a tough time penning down a fantasy novel. I'm going to keep saying that. Yeah. But I have the gift. That's why I'm able to pen down an amazing fantasy novel. I wrote a masterpiece. I wrote an amazing book. Yeah, man. I wrote a masterpiece. I'm not showing you guys anymore. I don't want to spoil the story for you, man. You'll find when I read my book, guys. When I'm king, right? When you purchase the book and you read it. That's why when I tell you, well, all you guys who buy the print, like your $85 is worth it because you're looking at the best reading experience of your life. If you don't want to pay the $85, pay the cheap $22. You can read it on your laptop if you want, right? You don't have to pay the $85, guys, for the book. Obviously, because most people are going to buy the ebook. Yeah, I don't feel like paying $85. I'll just pay $22 and buy the ebook, and you read it, and you're like, holy shit, this is so sick. It's so sick that when you read the book, oh my god, I'm excited to read this, and you get your takeout, man. You order your pizza, your McDonald's, your Subway, your shawarma, and you read the book. You're reading the book, you're hooked, you're like, you know what I'm saying? Because the story is so sick, and you keep turning the page. That's why all the book readers are like, holy shit, this is a page turner. It's a literary fantasy masterpiece. It's an epic, grilling, dark horror fantasy story. Like, all the book readers are going crazy, man. Ivan wrote a fucking masterpiece. Yeah. He's like, Ivan, you wrote this book? Like, you wrote this novel? Ivan, I'm like, yeah, I did. She's like, holy shit, Ivan, that's a masterpiece, Ivan, I know. I loved your book, Ivan. I enjoyed your book more than Harry Potter, because VJ's a Harry Potter fan. I saw a picture of her on Instagram. She was buying the Harry Potter book, The Cursed Child. Yeah, Ivan, I read all the Harry Potter books. Yeah, I enjoyed your book more than J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter. Yeah, my book is better than Harry Potter. It's better than Harry Potter. And Harry Potter is the most popular fantasy series ever written. And my book will beat it. It'll beat it in copies sold. And it'll beat it in what? In critical acclaim right now. All the book critics are like, holy shit, Ivan wrote a fucking masterpiece. Yeah, I wrote a masterpiece, man. Holy shit, Ivan's gifted. Yeah, I'm gifted, man. And all the fantasy fans on Fantasy Reddit, the Lord of the Rings fans, the Lord of the Rings Reddit and all that stuff, they're all like, holy shit, man. Ivan's book takes the crown. It's my favorite fantasy novel I ever read, man. It's a fucking masterpiece, man. I was so entertained reading that book. Yeah, it's entertaining. Very, very entertaining. Yeah. A good story, but it's also very entertaining. I keep you entertained. You're hooked. Were you guys hooked when you read Sexual Book Guy? We were hooked. It's fucking entertaining. I mean, it's interesting. Yes, it's interesting. I guarantee John Mega, Vaughn Jose, and all them, and Andy Zero is like, holy shit, Ivan, your book looks sick. I know, it's a sick book, guys. I can't wait to be part of that story. I know, it's an amazing story, guys. Looking at the best Witchers ever made. Yeah, man. The best Witchers ever made. Because I guarantee you before when I told you guys I'm a gifted storyteller, you guys probably didn't think I was this good, right? Yeah, Ivan may be pretty good, but maybe his writing's not that good. And I showed you guys sections of my book. You're like, holy shit, man! Xanus looks like a fucking sick story. It's a masterpiece, man. It's a literary masterpiece. It's an amazing book. The best story ever told. Better than George R. R. Martin's Game of Thrones. Better than Brandon Sanderson's Way of Kings. Better than Lord of the Rings. Yard Toes of the Rings. Better than I'm saying it's better than Malzin. It's better than Wheel of Time. It's a better book, man. Yeah. Like all the booktubers, like Mike's book reviews, Riley Durfee, Daniel Green, and all them, and Ahmed, the Ahmed guy, they read some of my book. Holy shit, Ivan! Like your book is sick. It looks fucking interesting. There's something about your book that's very entertaining. Yeah, it's a sick, entertaining book, man. I can't wait to read that. Yeah, it's a masterpiece. Yeah. Ivan, you're very gifted. You're a gifted writer. Yeah, yeah. I'm an amazing storyteller, man. I'm an amazing storyteller. What a masterpiece, man. Amazing story. And if I wrote They're Unique, it would have been an amazing story too. I showed you guys why I wrote for They're Unique. Yeah, Ivan, it starts off very interesting. Yeah. They're Unique would have been an amazing story too, but I didn't finish that book. I was initially going to write 2 books, They're Unique and Xanus, but I decided to just focus on Xanus. I was very stressed out. So I decided to focus on Xanus and finish that book, obviously. Okay, I'll just focus on Xanus, finish my fantasy novel, and that's it. I'm not going to write They're Unique. Because before I told you I was going to write They're Unique, and I decided not to write They're Unique. Because it's just too much stress on me. But I can easily write They're Unique in like 3 months. I brainstorm, I have the pictures in my mind, okay, I want this to happen, I write it in 3 months. But I decided to just focus on Xanus and get that done. That way, what? I'm not stressed out, Sarah. Yeah. So have you grinded? Yeah, 2019 is when I grinded. Like every day I had my notebook, I had my laptop with me. This is back when I had my laptop, right? And I would write, I brainstorm the chapters again. I write like 5 pages a day. I type it on my laptop, obviously. And that's how I was able to finish the book. It took me like, I don't know, I grinded for like 10 months and I ended up finishing the book, man. Yeah, and in early 2020, I gave the announcement, yeah, I finished my book, Xanus. Remember that, guys? 5 years ago? Yeah. I'm sorry? Ivan, show us more. No, I'm not going to show you more. I don't want to spoil the story for you, man. It's so interesting, Ivan. I know. It's a sick book, but I'm not going to show you more. I don't want to spoil the story for you guys. So I'm sorry? Yeah. So Ivan, you're actually going to make The Office feel like shit? Yes. I guarantee you when Brandon Sanderson and George R. R. Martin read some of my book, holy shit, man, there's something about Ivan's book that stands out from ours, man. It's fucking interesting. It's entertaining. And the characters up on the page, it looks like a sick story. Yeah, it's an amazing story. It's better than other books, man. Yeah, it's a masterpiece. But some fans might like their books better, obviously. Some fans might like Lord of the Rings better than my book. Some fans might like Way of Kings better than my book. Everyone's entitled to opinion, obviously, but most of the fans are going to like my book better than their books. But some fans might like their books better, right? Everyone has their own taste. But I highly doubt it. My book is more interesting than those books, man. Yeah, man. So, Sarah? He's like, oh my god, I love the character of Lithia Ivan when she was talking to Eli. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Why was Lithia so concerned about Tactius? Lithia has a crush on Tactius. She likes Tactius, obviously. And that's why she was very concerned what happened to Tactius. Yeah. She's like, Father, what's wrong? He's like, not now, Lithia. She's like, tell me. You picture VJ in the movie. Yeah, look at that sick story. Yeah. That man. Talking about Tactius. Yeah, Eli doesn't like Tactius. Yeah. Yeah. So VJ will be excited. Yeah, Ivan, I can't wait for the video, Ivan. I know VJ. I'm excited too. No, Ivan, seriously, man, I can't wait to be a part of this movie, man. Yeah, VJ, think something like Lord of the Rings. Yeah. Like, you think something like... People will tell me, Ivan, think something like Arwen and Eowyn for Lithia, and Belle and Mary and Elizabeth, yeah. For Arwen and Mary. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Obviously. Yeah. There's some sections in the book where the dialogue doesn't keep you as hooked, of course. There's some sections of my chapters that they don't keep you as hooked, but like it's good enough to keep you turning the page, right? But most of it, I don't know, 99.5% of my book, when you read it, it's a page turner. Like every page you read, you're just constantly hooked. The characters are on the page, and you just keep reading. And you can't put the book down because it's a masterpiece. I wrote a masterpiece, man. It's a masterpiece. I'm a genius. A creative genius, yeah. Yeah. Xanus is so good, it'll blow your mind away, guys, when you read Volume 3. Your mind will be blown away. It's a masterpiece, man. Or my peers like, yeah, I enjoyed your book more than J.R. Tolkien's Rings, man. Your story is deep, man. Like, it's so deep, it blows your mind away, Ivan. I know, Peter. No, seriously, Ivan. When I read your book, and I read your whole book, and I started to picture the whole story, I'm like, holy shit, this is a masterpiece, man. This is better than Lord of the Rings. Oh, period. This is better than J.R. Tolkien's Lord of the Rings. I know, period. It's better than J.R. Tolkien's Lord of the Rings. I was looking at a sick movie right now, man. A sick movie. Yeah. I wrote a masterpiece, guys. Yeah, man. As we're looking at a masterpiece. I wrote a masterpiece, guys. A cinematic masterpiece. Literary masterpiece. Yeah. Yeah, and this book is my journey to becoming king, guys. Yeah, I know you guys don't want me being king, but this is my journey to becoming king. I have the keys to the game. Don't hate what I'm saying. And I'm not gonna share with you guys and have you do my that and share with the guards. Right? No way. I'm choosing the other choice. And once I pay my dues, and I cry my mental anguish and I say to my wife, I'm taking my money, I'm taking my wife, and I'm peacing out. You get reserved, you're left behind. You're not saved. They're reserved, man. You made me pay a price. You're gonna pay too. That's how it works, man. Why don't you do that? No way. Me and Vijay are gonna forget about this Sabotage channel. Vijay will tell me, yeah, Ivan, don't make videos for the world, man. Like we're not gonna have the world do us like that. They act like we watch ourselves, we make videos, and we don't get paid for it. I'm not making any videos. Zero. Once I'm king, I'm peacing out. I'm not coming back on the Sabotage channel. I'm gonna forget my channel. The trends are much better than these stupid videos. You know, I forgot about his old life. He forgot about his channel. Yes, you guys will forget about my channel. Like, the trends is much better than my fucking Sabotage channel, guys. You're gonna see a lot of videos and pictures of me and VJ trending on X when we're king and queen. It's crazy. Some Sarah. It's crazy, man. Yeah, man. Yeah. So all the executives, yeah, even all the Hollywood executives, once they read my book, holy shit, man, I would love to get my hands on this story. This is a masterpiece. Yeah, I know. All the Hollywood, my stepmother told me, yeah, Hollywood would love your story, Ivan. They'll be all over your story. I'm not selling out to Hollywood, and I don't want the execs touching my masterpiece, man. They can perhaps ruin my story. I want my creative freedom with Peter or Mel with my movie. I don't want the execs in Hollywood touching my story. They could perhaps ruin my story. I don't want to ruin my story, yeah. Because, yeah, Ivan, you have your creative freedom with me. You don't have to worry about the executives in Hollywood touching your story, Ivan. And perhaps ruining your story. I know, Peter, yeah. I get my creative freedom with VJ, Peter, get Toro, Fran, and we write an amazing story together. We don't have to worry about the executives touching the story. And perhaps having their input and perhaps ruining the story, I'm sorry. And Hollywood only make my movie for maybe $350 million. $350 million towards Xanus won't cut it. You gotta put like $2 billion towards that, man. If you want to have an amazing world and have everything to be devils and demons. And have an amazing battle scenes for the movie, the war, the big war in the end, the big battle scene in the caverns, the battle scene with Tacitonius and Cassius before they get captured. So that scene I showed you with the fool, when he's like, enough, and they capture Tacitonius and Cassius, that's the scene right after the battle, and they get captured. Then they go to Barak, and the scene I showed you with Eretat is when they're in Barak, and the wolves are all what? In Barak, obviously, and Eretat's interrogating them. He's looking for Tactius. Yeah, I was supposed to tell you if I want to read the book. I was looking at the Masters that I wrote. Yeah, man. Amazing story. Yeah. Why was Eretat like, you are in my domain, you are in my territory? Yeah, the Northerns are not welcome. Eretat sees you if a Northern comes to the south, Eretat sees you as an intruder. Hence why he captured them. He was also looking for Tactius because he knew somehow Tactius was somewhere in the south. That's why he's interrogating Tacitonius and Cassius, because he's looking for Tactius. As you read in the end of Volume 2, when Cassius can't sleep, Eretat was looking for you. Yeah, that's a connection you get there, right? Yeah, Eretat sees any Northern who comes to the south is an intruder. That's why you have the spies of the south, and Cassius and them look for Tactius, and they're intruders. They're not welcome in Eretat's territory. Eretat sees an intruder, and he hates the humans. Hence why if they see humans in the south, they'll kill the humans, because the wolves have a hatred for the humans. They don't like the humans. Obviously, the Southerns live in the south, obviously, but they're Southerns, right? The Northerns are not welcome in the south. Eretat's not welcome in the north either. That's why you have this amazing story. Obviously, the humans also see the wolves as intruders in the north too. They're both not welcome in each other's territory. They have their own, like, you have these two different worlds: the human kingdom, the animal kingdom. The Northern's are not welcome in the animal kingdom in the south. The animals are not welcome in the northern kingdom in the north. Have the wolves been to the north? Of course they have, but they're not welcome in the north. That's why you have the wars fought at the Blood Valley. You have this clash, because the Blood Valley is a bridge between the north and the south. That's why you have this war, this clash of war between the humans and the wolves over the centuries. They fought many battles in this huge valley because they're not welcome in each other's territory. They have a hatred towards one another. That's what looking at Masters that I wrote. Amazing story, yeah. Yeah. But he's like looking at our maps. This is Brother of the Rings. I know, but he's Brother of the Rings. It's a masterpiece. It's a masterpiece, man. An amazing story. Yeah, man. Masterpiece. Yeah. Yeah. God, you're such a bragger, man. You're bragging how good your writing is. Yeah, I know. I you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I don't want you guys being jealous, obviously, but I'm amazing. All you guys who are trying to be aspiring writers, obviously, you write fantasy novel. All you authors out there who wrote your fantasy novels, I don't mean to make you feel like shit, obviously, but I wrote an amazing book, man. I wrote a masterpiece. It's the best fantasy novel ever written. Well, I told you it's the best fantasy novel ever written. I wasn't joking around, guys. I wrote a masterpiece. So I'm saying, huh? I wrote an amazing book. Give me a sec, guys. I'm gonna go upstairs and charge my phone. Back in a sec. Okay, we don't wait, guys. Hope you guys doing this show I made for you. Alrighty, guys, I'm back. Why did you charge your phone? Because after this video, I'm gonna go to the store and get something. I want to listen to music, so I want to listen to music. Hence why I went upstairs to charge my phone, because my battery's low. I want to listen to music on my way to get my stuff. And tomorrow I'll make a video after my shift at Cocoa Fruity. Yeah, I should be working tomorrow. The boss didn't text me yet, but he'll probably text me later on, around maybe 7, 8. You work at 9 tomorrow. I have an 8:30. I work tomorrow at Cocoa Fruity. Some Sarah. Hence why I wrote a masterpiece, guys. A cinematic masterpiece. A literary masterpiece. You guys are on my eye, and your book looks sick. I know. I wrote a masterpiece, man. Yeah, one story told in three volumes. One story told in 3 volumes, Miss Sarah. Yeah. One story told in 3 volumes. Ivan, what's the best volume? Well, it's debatable. Like, I think volume 3 is the best because you have the big plot twist. You have the Aratat's army coming to Safi. Like, you guys read the sim of that, right? When he's like, stop, and you have the X's. But you can argue volume 2 is better. It just depends on your taste. But I personally like volume 3 the best. And volume 2 is a close second, and volume 1's the worst. But volume 1's also amazing too, man. Volume 1's it's all good, man. It's all amazing. It's all amazing. It's an amazing story. Yeah. It's a masterpiece. Some Sarah? And that he's like, holy shit, Ivan, I can't wait to read your novel, Ivan. I know, sweetie. It's a masterpiece, man. It's an amazing book, yeah, man. It's a masterpiece. A masterpiece. Yeah. Yeah, I can't wait to read your book, man. It looks interesting. Yeah, no, it's a sick story. Interesting. Bruce Jackson's like, I can't wait to read your book, Iron. It looks fucking sick, man. It looks like an interesting story with the Northerns, the Southerners, and the Wolves. Yeah, I showed you guys the snippets. Yeah, it's an amazing book, man. It's an amazing story. Yeah. How good your book, Ivan? It's so good that once you read, like volume one will hook you, and then you read volume two, you're hooked the whole way through, and you read volume three, you have a huge, big climax, a big plot twist, and you're like, holy shit, man, this shit just got real, man. This is a fucking masterpiece, yeah. You know what I'm saying? You keep reading and the plot even gets deeper, man. It's a masterpiece, yeah, man. You're like, oh my god, that's a fucking sick story. That's a masterpiece, man. Yeah, man. It's a masterpiece. Man. It's a masterpiece that I wrote. Yeah, I'm fucking hungry. I eat all day, man. I might go get pizza. I'm eating jumper. I'm gonna go get pizza after this. Get my beer and smokes. I'll get pizza. I'll enjoy the show with you guys. Eat my pizza and I'll enjoy the show with you guys. I'll talk for maybe 15 more minutes. 1 hour and 3 minutes. I'm gonna shut the camera off, guys. I'm gonna go get my pizza and I'm gonna trip my ass off and I'll come back home. I'll enjoy the show with you guys. Some center. Enjoy the show with you guys. Yeah. So now you guys understand why when I tell you that my movie, when I adapt the movie, you're looking at the best movies ever made. I wasn't joking around. Xanus will be better than even the Avengers movies. If you think Avengers Endgame and Infinity War are good, Xanus will blow. Avengers Endgame and Infinity War is not the greatest story. It's an entertaining movie. The story's pretty good, but it's not as good as my book. My book is better than. Looking at a better movie trilogy than the Avengers movies, man. We better than Endgame. We better than Infinity War. We better than Lord of the Rings. We better than The Godfather. We better than the Star Wars originals. It's a fucking amazing story. Yeah, if you think Star Wars Neotus is a crazy Xanus fan, Star Wars fan, he's even a crazier Xanus fan. Because even though George Lucas I respect the man, he's a legend. He created Star Wars, arguably the biggest IP in the world. Star Wars is not Xanus. Xanus is a better story than Star Wars. And I'm the son of God, right? Hence why Neotus will be a crazier Xanus fan even Star Wars. Even though I love Star Wars and George Lucas is a legend, I love George Lucas' 6 movies. I don't like the Disney stuff, obviously. Ivan's trilogy is better than Star Wars, and I'm a bigger Xanus fan than I am Star Wars. Yeah, he's even a bigger Xanus fan than he is Star Wars Neotus. Yeah. Ivan's book was sick, man. That's a fucking amazing story. I know, it's a sick book. Yeah. A fantasy story, amazing fantasy story. Yeah. 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 So God gave the creative gift. Yeah, God gave me and me the creative gifts because He knew the gates walkers wasn't. That's why God has to give me the gift, obviously. I didn't know I was a good storyteller until I started reading my book. I was reading it, and I'm like, holy shit, I'm fucking hooked reading this. And this is why I didn't know I was God. I'm like, there's something very interesting about my book. And then once I found I was God, it all made sense. Yeah, I now understand why my book is interesting, because God gave me, I figured out, yeah, God gave me a gift. Like, once I wrote my book and I read it, I'm like, yeah, God gave me a gift. I wrote a fucking masterpiece. Yeah, I'm a genius, man. Amazing storyteller. Yeah. God gave me a gift. Yeah. So, Sarah, God gave you a gift on you. I wrote a masterpiece. An amazing novel. God gave me the gifts. God gave me the gifts. That's why what? My book will be a masterpiece. A masterpiece. God gave me the gifts. Yeah. That's why I heard my stepfather, he's like, how the heck can you come up with a story like that? Yeah, I know, I'm gifted. And my stepmother's like, Ivan, your book is number one. Xanus is number one. Yeah, Xanus is number one, guys. Best finds all were written. Masterpiece. Yeah. When I said it's better Lord of the Rings, I wasn't joking around. Xanus is a better trilogy than Lord of the Rings. Yeah, all you Lord of the Rings nerds know what I'm talking about, man. You read Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings, even though it's a masterpiece, it's a bit boring, obviously, in some sections. And you compare it to my book, yeah, Ivan's book it seems more entertaining, it looks more interesting. Yes, it's a more interesting, more entertaining book than even J.R.R. Tolkien's Lord of the Rings. It's a masterpiece. It's an amazing book. It's a cinematic masterpiece, a literary masterpiece. It will be a cinematic masterpiece when I adapt it, and it'll be a literary masterpiece when you read the book. I wrote a masterpiece, guys. Don't hate me, saying yeah. It'll be a masterpiece. Well, Ivan, show us more. No, I'm not going to show you more. I don't want to spoil the story for you guys. So I'm sorry. Yeah. I wrote a masterpiece. wrote a masterpiece, guys. Is your world big, Ivy? My world is a big world, but it's not as big. Compared to Lord of the Rings, it's a small fantasy world, right? My fantasy world's a pretty big world. I showed you guys all the lands, obviously, but it's not as big as like Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings, you have like 20, 30 plus lands. In my book, you only have maybe, I don't know, 8, 9, 10 lands. It's a pretty big world, but it's not as big as Lord of the Rings, obviously. But it's a masterpiece. You have the north, you have the south, you have Sapphish, you have Cyrus, you have Xanus in the north, you have Baraka where the wolves live, you have the Gilead Mountains where the bats live, you have the forest of Galathia, you have the Blood Valley, you have the mountain of Gilead in the north. Obviously, you have the city's edge. You know what I'm saying? You have the marshlands that lead to Saphius. You have the River of Tyrants. It's a pretty big world, but it's not as big as like Lord of the Rings. But when you watch the movie, the world will feel big, obviously. But compared to Lord of the Rings, it's a small world. That's my point, right? Compared to Lord of the Rings, my book is my world building is very small compared to Lord of the Rings. But it's still a big world, obviously. It's not as big as Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings has a bigger world, deeper world building, bigger world. But my story is better, and my characters are better. Hence why my book is better than Lord of the Rings. It's a more entertaining story, very fresh when you read it. Lord of the Rings is not fresh. It's a bit dry. When you read it, some sections of it are a bit boring, obviously. Whereas my book, it's not like that. You read it, you're entertained, you keep turning the page, you're hooked. And it's a page turner. You keep turning the page, man. You keep turning the page. It's a page turner. It's a page turner, yeah. That's why what? I wrote a masterpiece. Amazing story. Yeah. But I told you, because it's written in English, only the English-speaking world will buy it. Whereas the rest of the world who don't speak English will not be able to read my book. They don't understand English, obviously. That's why you're looking at maybe 1 billion, 800 million, 700 million copies sold around the world, and I make like my $14, $15 million off the book. Obviously. 10 to 14 to 20 billion I make off the book. But if everyone in the world buys it, which will not happen because most of the world don't speak English, I'll make like my 80, 90, $100 million. But chances are it's only the English speaking world. Hence why I'm going to make my 10, 14, $20 billion off the book. Hence why what? I love that amazing language of Egypt. We have to be king and queen together. See what I'm saying? Hence why I wrote a masterpiece. Hence why I wrote a masterpiece. A cinematic masterpiece, guys. I wrote a masterpiece. You guys read my book. I wrote a masterpiece, guys. Something fucking amazing. That's why you guys are like, holy shit, Ivan, you are gifted, man. Like, everything you showed us so far, your book sounds interesting. I was fucking hooked, man. Holy shit, you're gifted, Ivan. Yeah. I'm a gifted storyteller. Yeah. I can show you one more section of my book in Young Tactius, and I won't show you guys anymore. This is the last stuff I'm going to show you guys. And after this, I'm not going to show you anything else. Yeah, give me a sec, guys. I'm going to go get my phone. I'll be back in a sec. Don't hate me, Sam. Stay where we don't wait. So I'll show you the scene with Tactius in young Tactius. This is when Tactius is a kid with Tacitus, right? Okay, I'll show you guys this section here. You guys can read this. This is young Tactius when Tactius is an 8-year-old kid. Read this section here, and I won't show you guys anymore. Pause and read that. This is young Tactius. Then you can read this section here. And then read this section here. Pause and read it. And I'll show you this here, and I won't show you anymore. That's all I'm going to show you for Young Tactius. And that's it, guys. I'm not going to show you guys anymore in my book after this. You can pause and read this section here. This is Young Tactius. Yeah. Is Young Tactius a good chapter? Yeah, Young Tactius is pretty good. Not as good as the other chapters, but it's a pretty good. It's a good chapter, obviously. All my chapters are good enough, whereby I keep you hooked enough to keep reading, obviously. Yeah, you guys were gonna read that too, and I kept you hooked again. Yeah, because my book is a master's, man. Every chapter is you're entertaining, you're hooked. Yeah, if your characters jump on the page when I read that, yeah, they jump out on the page. They jump out because I'm a genius, I'm a creative genius. Yeah. I'm a creative genius. Yeah, Young Tactius is probably good, maybe, I don't know, like 80 pages into the book around there. 80 pages into the book, Young Tactius is probably around there, right? You have the prologue, then you have Young Tactius. Then after Young Tactius, it's 22 years later when Tactius is 30 years old. And Tacitus is like 32, 33. Yeah. So you read that chapter. Why is Tactius asking about the walls? Because I don't want to spoil the story for you. You'll find out when I read the book. I don't want to spoil the story for you, obviously. But he doesn't know about the devil wolves, as you read in that passage, right? Yeah, when Tactius is a kid, he doesn't know about the devil wolves. So I'm going to say, yeah. and he's curious about what's outside the walls. Hence why he asks, why can't we leave the walls? And that's all I'm going to say. I won't spoil this over. You'll find what I mean when you read the book. Hence why you're looking at a masterpiece, guys, that I wrote. You know, even like everything you showed us, I'm impressed, man. Your book looks very interesting. Yes, my book is a fucking masterpiece, guys. It's a literary masterpiece. It's a sick book, man. It's the best book ever written, guys. Well, I told you it's the best book ever written. I wasn't playing around, Ivan. Your book looks fucking sick. I know, it's a sick book. You're going to be entertained when you read it, man. It's an amazing novel. Yeah, but hence why Xanus was the best story ever told, the best story ever told, and it'll be the greatest movie adaptation ever made, man. You guys will find what I mean when you read my book. As I showed you guys snippets of my book, right? Yeah. Anyways, guys, here is video. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. I talked for an hour and 35 minutes. I'm going to shut this camera here. I'm going to upload the video. I'm going to go through the store, trip my ass off, and get stuff for myself. And I'll come back and enjoy it with you guys. And later on, I'll get my pizza at Pizza. This is Adam. I'm signing out. Peace, guys. Don't hate me, guys. Peace out. Hope you guys enjoyed the show I made for you.